Country Talk Radio. You're in to all things music.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, happy Friday, October 6th. Special birthday wishes to my beautiful bride, Cappy. I love you, honey. Happy birthday. I am happy right now because once again, I am doing something to pay homage to my fellow musicians here in the Temecula Valley. I'm excited because I've known this gentleman for about a good 5 years, and our friendship's gotten stronger over the years itself. And the person I'm talking to is an amazing musician, singer, guitarist, and all-around great guy who actually has less hair than I do, and I love it. And so brothers in arms, for the lack of a better word. So with that said, guys, I want everybody to welcome with open arms and open ears to Jackie's Groove, my dear friend, Tim Moyer. Tim, welcome to the show. Hi, everybody at Facebook land out there.
Hey, Jackie. Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, man, this is a little bit different, man, because we're not I was going to bring Tim on the Emerging Monday show, but, Tim reached out, and the benefit of having my own show and having a huge network is that we're able to do what we want to do. And so Tim said, hey, man, you do me a favor. We want to really start promoting the TVM Awards, which are tomorrow. We'll talk about that in depth. And so we cleared our schedule, and we brought Timmy on. So we're going to talk about it. So, guys, get your pens and paper ready, and we want to get your butts out to the show tomorrow. So with that said, Tim, just talk to the audience. We'll kind of go back and forth here. Let's talk about what we're doing here today. Let's talk about the TVMAs and your involvement. Go ahead.
Okay, so TVMAs and my involvement, I started this thing a little over 4 years ago with the help of Ben Cole at D'Addario. We kind of used to have coffee and brainstorm and try to figure out ways to raise up the talent in the Temecula Valley and help out the schools. He was very instrumental in helping our first donation to Vista Murrieta. And so tomorrow is the fourth annual Temecula Valley Music Awards at Belvino Winery. And it's been a great 4 years. We've had a lot of donations to schools. We've given away scholarships to students in the music field. Seniors that are moving on to go to. One of them went to Berkeley. Some of them going to some other colleges, and that's the goal, is to lift up all of the local talent that's amazing in this valley, and reaching a little bit beyond with the out of town categories. And then taking all those funds from that event, as well as the Bluegrass Festival, and donating them back to the schools through the music directors and the boosters of the high school marching bands. And then through the directors, they choose the recipients of the scholarships as well. So just trying to put a big synergy activity together.
And Tim, I want to personally apologize to you because, you've reached out many times saying, hey, Jackie, can you help me out with some notables? And everybody I've worked with or talked to, unfortunately on our side, they're on the road and they're on these world tours. And, that's what happens when you are blessed to be working with the YoCats in the industry. So one of these days, Timmy, we'll lock it in. So that's why I want to give my contribution back to the TVMA Awards. And you guys, I want you to write this down. It's www.tvmawards.org. And do me a favor. Correct. God forbid our government should ever put money and keep the kids in music in school. That's another show on Oprah. So I'm not even going to bring that in. I'm not going to get up on any political platform. You guys support local music wherever you are. It's, and where we live, Timmy, there's some amazing, amazing talent in this area. Let's talk about Midnight Satellites. Let's talk about, Margaret. Let's talk about Tim Moyer. Let's talk about Lindsay Carrier and Joanna Pearl. All this great talent that is just bubbling over in this industry. But I want to go back. Let's step back for a second about Tim Moyer. Tim, Let's let the audience know, your fans, and let's let our fans worldwide know all about Tim Moyer. Timmy, where were you born? Where were you raised? And most importantly, did you ever grow up?
Not. I have not grown up, as my wife will tell you first. I was brought up in the South Bay, California, lower South Bay, not San Francisco, in Torrance, California. Born in Gardena, because that was the only hospital around back then, long time ago. And just hung out. I was a surfer kid in the Torrance Beach area and was raised there. My father, biological father, took off early. Shame on him. Passed away. And there's some songs about that if you want to listen. But my real dad, Lucky Wright, took over. Used to play saxophone for Chubby Checker toured with Chubby Checker back in the day.
Oh, really?
My mom plays classical violin, played with the Peninsula Symphony, and was first chair for quite a while. And through those obvious connections, I was brought into the music industry and just gravitated towards banging on drums first. As a kid, you just want to beat on things. And my dad was nice enough to let me sit in with his jazz groups. They'd come over to our house and rehearse on Wednesdays, and it was such a blast. So I was surrounded by music from day one, and thankfully so. And then blossomed to myself, marrying my soulmate, Susan, and having two kids that also enjoyed music. We just made sure that we surrounded them with instruments, and whatever they gravitated to was fine with us. We didn't push them, although they'll tell you that once they learned and had shown interest in certain instruments, I kind of pushed them. So then we ended up traveling around and performing ourselves. So that's kind of the beginnings of what leads me here. Do you want to hear more?
Let me ask you this question, Tim. You brought up the fact about having babies, and they'll always be your babies regardless of what age they are. But let's step back for a second. Let's talk about when you were a baby, growing up in the land of the Beach Boys, Torrance, California. What was coming through the speakers of the Moyer household in your beginning years? What were you forced to listen to? What were you not forced to? What did you listen? What was coming through those speakers that really inspired you?
Well, before my biological dad split, it was a lot of banjo kind of music. And then my sister turned me on to the Rolling Stones and a lot of that type of era. Judy Collins, Cat Stevens, that kind of stuff. But my dad, my new dad, my real dad, I call him, came into play. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Chicago. He plays sax, so a lot of horn rock bands. And so that was what was in my ear quite a bit growing up. And then, of course, I would go to my mom's concerts every month and fall asleep to some amazing classical music. And I think that that's kind of where a lot of my harmony instincts come from. So it was pretty well-rounded radio action in my house.
You know, and I like it when you bring that up, Tim, because also I always say this, I've said this before in many interviews, and I tell this to people out there because when I do mentoring and stuff, when I talk to the younger set and so on, I wanted to just put that out there again to the parents out there that kids are inspiring to be musicians. Don't shove an instrument that you like down their throat. I always say take your child to a music store, to a place that has instruments. Let that instrument call him or her to it. Take those young people to concerts. Let them see live music. Let their soul be immersed into live music and the music, period. Do you agree with me on that, Tim? It's okay if you do or don't. But to let the instrument call the child? Give me
Exactly. I mean, we just had instruments all around us, surrounding us. And, you know, when I was a kid, I'm not quite sure. I think just watching the drummer in my dad's bands, plural, I kind of gravitated to that, and they saw that interest and bought things. And they had asked the guy that was playing drums at the time how best to build up my interest now that they realized that I had one. So they bought me one drum at a time. I got a snare drum and learned paradiddles and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then got me a hi-hat, and then got me a bass drum. So I had some really cool Ludwig stuff, but they were all mixed-matched.
Right.
The most amazing drum kit I'd ever had. And then when I was growing up and had kids, pianos, guitars, clarinets. I mean, we just had things laying around. And like you said, we let the instruments guide the kids. And they just gravitated, which kind of is the reason why Sean, my youngest one, started playing drums early, but played piano and still does, and plays guitar and still does, writes for film and TV, a lot of electronic music, and Tyler, who originally started on bass, now plays can play piano, can play guitar, can play trumpet, can play banjo. So because the instruments called them and they listened to a lot of instruments speaking to them, they're very well-rounded musicians. So they're not keyed into just one instrument, which I think is also lends itself to what you're saying, is if you let the instrument speak to the kids, then chances are they're going to play a lot of stuff.
And Tim, may I personally thank you, not that I've thanked you a million times over, but on the air, thank you for honoring me last year with the, the year before.
Local legend, yeah.
Yeah, local legend. I don't know if I want to believe that at all, but I do appreciate that immensely. There's one thing I am pissed off at you, though, and I say this with tongue in cheek, but as I look at my album on the wall and as I have my backstage pass, I proudly display that in my studio. But the following year, you put the most beautiful award out there. So I'm pissed that I didn't get that good-looking award. Not that the other one wasn't. So just throwing that in the back pocket right there. So if there's any guilt there, that's okay.
That's funny because I'm not sure which one you have. Is that an album or which?
Yeah, it's the album, in the beautiful frame, and then it's got the plaque on that, and then of course I have over that plaque I've hung the backstage pass on that. So I'm proud of it because it's in my community. Tim, let me ask you this question, and I want your soul and your heart and your muscles and your legs and your nerves to be able to relax, because this thing that you do every year at NAMM, National Association of Music Merchants, I missed it last year due to my surgery on my back. This year I'll be there in full regalia. And we're talking about the center stage, lobby bar stage at the Marriott Anaheim during NAMM. When I look at Tim, who is usually a very mellow, chill guy, this man is walking around like a chimpanzee on crack, and
That's for sure.
to get him to sit and give him a hug and so on and so forth, I've learned to stay away from him. Tim, are you going to have any more help this year so that you can actually enjoy what you're doing more than just being a manic about this whole situation? Explain to us what you're doing, what the process is, and how you choose the groups to star on that stage. Share with us.
There's a lot to that NAMM thing, and I should have said, let's do 2 hours instead of one, because there's a cool story about how all that started. But to answer your question directly, I am looking for one guy to help me out. So Daniel Bloom, I think that you're a good candidate. I'm looking for one guy to kind of augment myself a little bit, because from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. at NAMM, from Wednesday on, I'm going nonstop, like Jackie says, and I get exhausted. And actually last year, I usually can take like a 15-minute power nap, sometimes between sets, and I did not wake up in time to announce the next band, which is part of my job, to make sure things go on time, which I'm very proud of. As many of you know, I'm pretty manic about that kind of thing, making sure people get on and off stage in a timely manner, because every person that is next on stage is very happy when that kind of stuff happens, to make sure that they get a full set. So, I'm looking for another person, and I'm hoping that I get some help. If you're out there...
what will that person's duties be, Tim? To be your right hand?
Yeah, just to kind of keep an eye on things and be in communication with me, so that I can run up to the green room, make sure people are happy up there, maybe grab a little nap here and there. Maybe even I get on the floor and say hi to my NAMM people, which usually I do on Sundays only. But this person would just make sure that people on stage are doing okay, the sound guys are doing okay, and if an act is finishing, get up there and announce the next act. So they would have to have some MC type of, kind of like you, Jackie, ability to,
I'm not volunteering. Forget it. I'm not volunteering. Hey, Tim, go ahead and give out an email address where those listeners out there that are interested, give them your email address so they can go ahead and inbox you.
Yeah, it's Tim at my full name, timmoyer.com, TIMMOYER.com.
Guys, and I implore you to reach out, because this is a great opportunity, and forgive me for saying this, but to get into the NAMM show, you're better off getting into the U.S. Mint.
White House.
It's very difficult. Again, this will be my 28th trip there. I will be honest with you, Timothy. I love the NAMM show. I live for the NAMM show. I was heartbroken last year when I couldn't do it, but I still did that Wednesday meet and greet with the press, even though I was in a hospital bed and I was on a stool on a laptop, but it wasn't like being there, seeing that. And my impersonation of myself talking to Tim Moyer at the NAMM show was like, "Hey, Tim, it's good to see you. Hey, Tim, it's nice to see you." Hey, Tim. And that's exactly what it is, man. That's why I'm having a good time right now. So sitting there talking to Timothy Moyer regarding this. Hey, Tim, you can see right now, again, too, I agree with you. We're already going at the end right now on the first segment of Jackie's Groove. Again, this is Jackie Bertoni talking to Tim Moyer, but there's so much more involved. I want to talk about Tim's involvement in music itself, but I also want to know what Tim's opinion is about the music industry. He's long in the tooth like I am, so he's been through hell and back, and I want to get his opinion. If he's optimistic, he's pessimistic about the industry. I want his personal opinion. I think the listeners want to hear about it also. So with that said, when we come back, Tim, put your thinking cap on, get on your soapbox, because I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear what you feel about the music industry or the lack thereof, or even sharing the word together, music and a business in the same line. I know I don't like it. So with that said, guys, go ahead and get yourself another beverage. We're going to be back on segment number 2 with Mr. Tim Moyer, talking about the TVMA Awards and also NAMM and everything that encompasses Tim Moyer. And again, that's www.timmoyer.com. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, brought to you by Intertalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. Guys, don't go anywhere. Segment 2, just around the corner. You don't want to miss a thing. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
The Moyer Entertainment Group, in conjunction with Daddario, Radio Airplay, and Looploft, is keeping music in our local schools and presenting local talent to the world through the Temecula Valley Music Awards. Submissions for entry into the TVMA 2017 season are now open in all genres, including a youth category for artists under 18 for the October 7th Star-Studded Awards Show, where 100% of the proceeds go towards supporting local music education in the Temecula Valley. Details, tvmawards.org.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Todd Zuckerman from the rock band Styx, and you're listening to my pal Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove. Groove on, motherfuckers.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, and we're back. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Group on TalkRadio.com. You're into all things music. Guys, do yourselves a favor. Please write this down, www.tvmawards.org. And do me a favor, get out your checkbook, get out your credit card. Start, please, putting your money to the greater good, and that is keeping music alive in our schools. God forbid the government should do anything to help us out, but Tim and I are not going to get on the soapbox. Maybe we will. But the bottom line is I want everybody to welcome back, Tim. Hey, brother, I want to ask you a question. Let's talk about that song we just came in on the second set. Give me the genesis of that tune, please.
That was Sister Sunshine, which I wrote for my sister Sean, who left this planet way too early because of drugs. So drugs are a no, unless it's specific drugs that might help you be healthy. These were not. But I wrote that song in homage to her, and because I truly believe I'm a very spiritual guy. I'm not a Bible-toting type of person. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, but I'm strongly believing in the immense amount of power that we all have here and when we're gone. And I believe that she is still here surrounding me. I believe that every breath I take, maybe she can experience the sound and the smells and the sight of this planet and what I'm going through as well. So that's kind of what that song is all about. It's just her experiencing things through me, and likewise, called Sister Sunshine.
Beautifully said. And brother, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to invite you personally. Write this down, Tim. October the 14th. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You like food?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I know you do. You like fusion?
Fusion is good. Music or food?
Both. Fusion of food. And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm kind of leading up to this, because Jackie's Groove, in association with NewportDunes.com and also the Back Bay Bistro, October the 14th, Tim, we are doing this amazing event called Feast Infusion, starring Mr. Bunny Burnell, one of the greatest bass players in the history of music. Bunny is also an award-winning French chef. And so through the mindset of Brian Ross and Florentino Bonaventura, putting together this amazing, amazing consortium of an evening starting at 6 o'clock at the Back Bay Bistro, Newport Dunes. At 6 o'clock, the doors open. Live performance is at 7:30. Tim, you're going to be able to hang out with Bunny Burnell, Kayleen Peoples, Virgil Donati, Julian Coriel, the son of the late, great Larry Coriel, Bunny Burnell, and also Mitch Foreman. What a group. What a group. What a way to hang out with a bunch of yo cats. So please, if you guys are available, you and Susan, I'm going to have Florentino hook you guys up. Would love to see you there. It's a Saturday. It's just a beautiful, beautiful happening on the Bay. So we'll talk more about that itself. Again, that is Jackie's Groove in association with Newport Dunes. You can get your tickets at ticketweb.com, or go to intertalkradio.com, or go to newportdunes.com and get hooked up. So the invitation's out there, Tim. So I would love to see your beautiful face there. Okay, so let me ask you this question, brother.
Let me just say something
ahead.
really quick about what you just said, because we, as a family, traveled in an RV for a year and a half playing music. And where was our home stomping grounds? Newport Dunes. And where did we used to play? Back Bay Bistro.
There you go. So it's meant to be there, man. And, and Tim, let me ask you this question. I know you personally. I know your ability to play. You and I have not shared the stage together, and that will change. I promise you, my brothers.
It better.
Guitar and percussion would be absolutely just amazing. That's as about as naked as you're going to get when it comes to not fucking up, and so on. You and I'll do it. I love your playing, man. I love the way you comp. But let's talk about something here as my landscapers in the background. Tim, are you going to be going back to, I know the answer, but you're heading back to Australia, the land down under. You want to talk about that and what's going on?
I'm hoping to. Just trying to fit my life into my musical life as well. And those two have difficulty merging sometimes. As Susan Moyer, who's watching for her lunch break, can attest. I met Lloyd Spiegel through NAMM and D'Addario. I'm a D'Addario artist. Thank you, D'Addario and Ben Cole. And met Lloyd Spiegel, booked him for NAMM a few years ago. And he was gracious enough to invite me to come out and visit in Australia, which I did a couple of years ago. And he took me on a tour, and we played all over Australia a couple of Decembers ago, which was a blast. And he's insisted that I come back and do some bigger shows with him. He also covered one of my songs. After that tour, he liked a song that I wrote with my son, Tyler, Larry Thompson, and Jaron Eldon, called Cure My Soul, and it's on his latest record. So I am looking forward to going back to Australia. I really would like Susan to go with me. So we're hoping to make that happen.
From your lips to God's ears, brother. Hey, Timmy, let me ask this question, and I'm not going to get political, governmental political. I want to get a little bit of music political, if I may, for a second, because I respect your opinion. You and I are close to the same age, and we've been through hell and back in the industry itself, the lack thereof.
True.
Are you optimistic or are you pessimistic the way the industry, music-wise, is going on right now? Share us with us.
I am optimistic about music and independence of music. I'm pessimistic about the industry of music. I hope that makes sense to all of you.
Elaborate.
Well, just as I mentioned earlier that I'm a spiritual being and I'm not a Bible-toting person, just as religious business has tainted the Bible, so to speak, and the beliefs that people have had, so is to the industry of music. But I love the fact that the internet, and YouTube, and all of the channels that we now have to distribute our own music, and radio like you're offering here, Jackie, these are avenues that we never had before. We had to sign on the dotted line and get a penny a record if we were lucky to get on shows like you're offering, Jackie. So this has opened up a whole realm of new avenues for us to promote our own music and expose our own talents. So in that aspect, I am so optimistic. It's a great thing that's happening. But the industry is going to suffer, the record industry as a whole, because of that. So if you're working for a big label, maybe you might be out of work soon. I don't know. I've actually started my own label called Naked Acoustic Records. The premise of that is just stripping away everything except for the song and the person singing the song or delivering the song. So it doesn't compete with the production side of what they might do. I have a few people that are interested that already have fully produced CDs out there, but want a stripped down version, because some of us have to go out and perform just solo acoustic. They don't have the whole studio project with them. They can't afford to do that. So that's the premise of having a naked acoustic release, so you can take it with you and say, this is what I'm doing tonight. This is the really cool stuff from the studio and stuff, but you can pick whichever one you want. So, which also leads me to the fact that making money in music is a struggle. The internet is exposing us and exposing our music to a lot of people, but to make money, to monetize that is a struggle. So I find myself with a lot of guys like Chi McLean, Will Chaplin, all these guys that I know of that are great talents, and they're just out hitting the road, performing for a few dollars, basically, and or trying to push Spotify and iTunes and getting a few cents from that. It's a struggle monetizing music, but it's not any longer a struggle to get your music out there. So it's kind of a quandary, but I am optimistic that we'll all kind of find our way with new technology to monetize it better, make a living off of what we're providing musically.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and when on the next segment, we're going to bring a mutual friend on, the CEO of our corporation, our network, Florentino. And the reason, he's going to give you a reason why he developed Intertalk Radio. I can tell you the reason why I am on Intertalk Radio. God knows, people who know me, I can talk to a plant. But the fact of the matter is, I grew up, in this industry, growing up young, being an Italian Armenian. I was able to go to the coolest clubs at the age of 17 because I had hair on my face. And, and to hone my craft, if you will. But at the same time, too, I had a lot of jackies growing up, people that paid it forward to me, that's recognized my talent. They saw my ability to play, and I'm eternally grateful. I've lost a lot of them over the term, but I'm still friends with a lot of them, period. Those people I'm talking about are my dear friend Michael McDonald. In fact, just a little while ago, before you and I came on the air, I did a pre-tape with Bernie Chevarelli, Michael's right hand, his guitar player, writer, producer, and that'll be aired on October the 13th, and you definitely want to check that out as a great guitarist.
Cool.
And the fact that we talked about Michael, he didn't think I knew this, but of course I've known Michael since 1990. Michael is an amazing ukulele player, and I know how you do banjo and so on. Yeah. And so we'll talk more about that offline, and how maybe to get a chance to introduce you to Mike. I mean, just he loves local talent, man. And when he comes back out to the Thornton Wineries, I'll make sure I put the best foot forward to introduce you to my dear friend. So let me ask you this question, brother, if I may. Let's go back here for a second. Let's talk about us as musicians. And yeah, I'm gonna be pissy here for a second. To the millennials out there, and there's a ton of them that listen to this network, a ton of them listen to my shows. It's been proven how successful my Emerging Mondays are. But you guys are missing the point here, and this is where I'm going to stand, and I'm going to be steadfast. And I'm going to say 3 magical words. As a spiritual man myself, but I do speak French, and those are: stop stealing fucking music. And I'm dead serious with that, man, because the bottom line is, you, the young listeners. Now, I myself, the benefit of being in my position, if there's a new release, I can call up a friend of mine and say, hey, do me a favor, send me 15 CDs and so on. But I don't do that. I did it as a younger man, but now I buy the music. They get pissed off when I tell them, I love the new album. Well, we never sent it out. Well, I bought it. And I can afford to spend $9.99, on a CD. Even the new stuff coming out is as low as $6.49 on iTunes. And so when I say that, I don't walk into your office, nor does Tim. We don't jump on your desk and piss on your computer. We don't take advantage of your business. The bottom line is, we're not doing this for our looks. We're not doing this for our health. We're doing this to keep our mortgage paid for and a roof over our head and food in our babies' bellies. And so the fact is, I firmly believe that we will get back to the part where we're making money. Because at my age and at Tim's age, and as I quote Al Di Meola, we should be wanting to play music, not having to play music. Do I feel that the music will come back? I really want to, but I agree with Tim. You must be optimistic, because the great producer Jay King from Club Nouveau and Brian Alexander Morgan, who with Mariah Carey and so on, they stated, including Michael McDonald, if you're not hip to today's business, guess what? You're out of the business. So as much as I say that, I'm going to ask you a question as an old man is speaking from an old man. Do you understand today's music, Tim? I mean, do you believe that, like I believe, that for the writers out there, there's a thing called the hook, the bridge, that I don't hear. What about you? Are you into today's music? And it doesn't matter. Don't feel bad at sounding like your parents. Do you get
okay? So I get what you're saying, but you're painting with a broad brush. And if you dig into internet radio, which you guys are, so I'm assuming that you do, there is a ton of original music out there with melody and harmony and lyrical content and verses and hooks and great bridges. You just have to look for it. there is so much of it that sometimes we get caught up in the mainstream, in which case I agree with you. There are mainstream artists out there that are stealing loops, that are just auto-tuning themselves until they can sound like whatever they want to sound like, and they're making it. That's another story, another scenario that I'd like to talk about. What is making it? But there are great songwriters out there, great songs out there to be consumed. I'm not bitter about what I'm hearing. I think that there's a lot to be said for independence and independent radio, independent music releases, and there's some great stuff out there. You just need to make sure you look for it. Both of my kids, I'm very proud of both of my kids for buying vinyl still and enjoying all types of music. And I think we all need to be more aware of everything out there. Just put yourself out there. Make sure you're digging for the gems that are out there, because they are out there. Don't just flip on FM radio or satellite, stick on one satellite station and think that that's it, because it's not. There's great stuff out there.
Yeah, and Timmy, thank you for narrowing that wide brush that I was talking about. No, you know me of anybody else. I'm the one that delves deep into great talent. And I wonder why, in God's name, that these people aren't in the mainstream. It's a different situation in the U.S. That's why a lot of new upcoming artists that are on major labels are being exposed to a Japanese European market, because they value music differently than we do. It's because there's still 38 viable Tower records still in business and viable in Japan. And, so, don't get me going with our country itself. And, I want to stay optimistic. And I want to let everybody else know there, please, definitely, like he says, like Timmy said, go on to SoundCloud, go on to Spotify, listen and look for these great entertainers. And a lot of them are right there on a thing called Facebook. So Timmy, when we come back, we're gonna really bring it all in. We're gonna reel it in. We're gonna talk more about the TVMAs, paying it forward, keeping music in the schools, and more about NAMM. And then we'll talk about everything that's got to do with Tim Moyer, how to stock Tim Moyer on a professional level, how to put money in his pocket so he can pay his mortgage, and how you can listen to some great music produced and written and sung by Tim Moyer. So with that said, guys, I'm having a great time. I surely hope everybody in Facebook land is having a great time. And you can listen to Tim and I bullshit each other on the break. So when we get back on segment number 3, we're going to reel it all in. This is Jackie Bertoni, brought to you by Jackie's Groove and Intertalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. We're talking to Mr. Tim Moyer. I love you, brother, man. I feel like I've known you for more years than we have. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on segment number 3, the final part of this amazing interview with Mr. Tim Moyer. Don't go anywhere, guys. www.timmoyer.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, this is Michael McDonald, and you're listening to my good buddy Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome back to the final segment number 3 on Jackie's Groove. This is Jackie Bertoni, brought to you by InterTalk Radio Network. You guys, real quick business, if I may. If you guys can't listen to Jackie's Groove live or the plethora of our other, there's that word I'm going to use again, plethora of our other shows here on the network, InterTalkRadio.com, go to iTunes, go to Google, and download our easy-to-use and easy-to-navigate application, and it's a 4-letter word called free. Take Jackie's Groove on the road with you when you can't listen to us live, and the rest of our shows also. And also, too, I want to say a special shout-out to the people that keep our lights on here, and those are called our sponsors. Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com, where they just want you to play it loud. And to paraphrase, also, Studio Instrument Rental SIR, Sabian Cymbals, Vader Percussion, Drum Workshop Incorporated, #1 drum company in the world, John Good, and Don and Chris Lombardi. Love you guys. And people I'm most biased to, lpmusic.com, my percussion choice for the past 28 years. Thank you for your support, gentlemen. And speaking of support, and Timmy, welcome back. I'm not going to let the guy go on. He acts like he's a CEO of a corporation. He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. It's bullshit. He's the one that's got me working extra time here on a Friday, talking to my Tim Moyer. But the person responsible for introducing the two of us is this gentleman by the name of Florentino. Florentino, are you there right now, brother? Let's see for the response. He's on his way. Okay, get his ass
on
moving.
His way.
And because he's got a lot of insight. You know, he's known you longer than I've known you, and he's there's a lot going on here from San Diego all the way up to this area and far and beyond.
I'm here.
So there we go. So yeah, I'm glad you finally joined me, brother. Florentino, say hi to Tim. Tim,
what's
hi
up,
to Florentino.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
I thought I had a second or two to run and get some chips in the kitchen. It's a little
Don't
ways
make
away
me
from-
hungry now.
I'm hungry. I've just been working. So, how's it going, man? You guys are having a good interview. I'm loving it.
We're having fun. It's like the first time we've been able to talk since we've met.
Finally.
Yeah, it definitely. We've both have been so busy with so many different things, and
through that,
I'm excited for you, man. This new TVMA is going to be a huge one for you guys, and we're all rooting for this to be a success because it's not just about us or musicians. It's about the next generation, and I think that's a powerful statement that you always make because you're a heart that cares, brother, and that's
absolutely. Lots of changes coming up too.
Yeah, for sure, and I don't know if we've known each other. I think we've known each other about the same amount of time, Jackie, because I met Tim the same time I met you.
Oh,
was
okay.
it at the award show? Was that the first time?
Well, actually, no. I met Tim when we did the Radio Ban Diego show with Midnight Satellites and Joanna Pearl.
That's right. That's right. Down in NAMM.
Let me jump in here right now. I just got a rash of shit from Joanna just now. She sent me a message that said, who was the person that introduced you on stage for the local? I forgot that JoJo introduced me. So Joe, there's your $20 I owe you. And she said, laugh out loud, #local legend. See, when people know Jackie and you strip down all the awards and everything else, I'm a goof, and I'm.
I could second that. So, I could second that.
Yeah, I know, and she also introduced Joanna. Joanna, you're really going to start pissing me off, because she'd also texted me and said, and I introduced Tim to Tino. All right, Joe. Now hang up the phone and enjoy the show now. So with that said,
I'm gonna interject this because I always bug her.
Go ahead.
Where's my recording of Gravity, Joe? I don't know. We want
there you go.
Me and Jackie want to hear you record that song. I've put it out there. I don't know. Have you heard that her version of Gravity, Tim?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, it's so moving. I like it. I like it better than the way Sarah Bareilles does it. So I officially put that out there, Joanna. So there we go. I'm lobbying for that one. Anyway,
she says she loves us. She loves all three of us right now. Okay, so there you go. All right, so Tino, do me a favor. Dissect what's going on with Mr. Moyer. Mr. Moyer, ask questions to Florentino so I can stretch my legs.
Yeah, man. So you've had a couple of these. Well, actually, did you have one before we met you, or was that the first one, Tim?
No, we had one before. At least one before that.
Yeah, I thought you did. So
yes,
talk about. I would like to know a little bit about kind of how these have transitioned on. What's going to be different, and what do you have planned for the future with the the development of the TVMAs? And I know we've talked about different things, and we want to help out in the future for maybe some more national awards. Just everything's such a moving target for all of us here. But tell us a little bit, about where your plans are and the transitions that you've seen for the yearly, year after year.
Yeah. We will continue. We're going to be morphing quite a bit. And I don't want to expose too much, but I am talking to manufacturers like D'Addario and Taylor Guitars and a lot of other people, NAMM, the NAMM Association. We're all in talks about morphing the TVMAs and expanding our help reach. Because that's really all that this has been about from the beginning, from the time that I saw federal funding go, or state funding go away from Vista Murrieta's marching band while my son Sean was on the drum line. I saw that funding go away. So this has always been about helping. And so because the awards has been kind of a subjective thing, and a lot of people have their opinions about awards in general, we're finding ways to expand and grow our reach of help. So that's what the future holds for the TVMAs and the Moyer Entertainment Group, which is the actual 501c3. The Bluegrass Festivals, DBA, the Temecula Valley Bluegrass Awards, our Temecula Valley Music Awards, are both DBAs of Moyer Entertainment Group, and we're going to be expanding that. And Acoustic Music Festival is in the works. So any way that we can find to, number one, give back and help the youth learn and keep music in the schools. Number two, help raise awareness of all the great talent that's out there. Like we've been talking about mainstream radio. How can we best help the small guy make money and get their music out there? That's number two. Number three, how do we bring that all the way around full circle and have those now successful musicians and artists go back into the schools and mentor and teach the kids? So that's kind of our whole mentality of the Moyer Entertainment Group, and that's what's going to be going on in the future. And I can't say too much about it because there's a lot of people that listen to me and end up doing what I'm professing to do and or already doing. So they grab my template and they run.
Yeah.
So it minimizes what I do. So we can talk more off the air and tell the announcement, but there's a lot going on, and I think I've kind of given you the overall.
No, you're always got such amazing ideas on how to grow music, and that's one of the things that we've always admired about you, man. For us, we're kind of in a similar vein. One of our main partners is the NAMM Foundation, which that's their whole sole focus. For those folks that aren't aware of NAMM, which Tim does a lot of work for, It's about bringing together musicians, the retailers, the manufacturers, and they do it all in one organization to help foster a more profound effect of music with the youth, with just in general, just growing the music industry. And the foundation is their nonprofit arm, and we're going to be going out in November with them to broadcast the marching band. I can't remember the name of it exactly, but it's going to be a big event with a number of marching bands from around the world. And they're always talking to Washington about making sure that we have better funding in the schools. So, that's one of our core focuses as well. And I think it's super important. And talking with all the players that we've talked to, and including ourselves, we were fortunate. I was fortunate to have music education when I went to school. I did some time with the school bands, and then eventually playing. Going to guitar class and building camaraderie with friends. And I've seen some of these people go on to be huge influencers in the music industry that I went to school with. And, you don't have that really much anymore. And that I think it's not about the awards. It's about what the awards can bring to recognition, I think. And that's
exactly.
Really
exactly.
And that's huge because, there's tons of awards shows jumping up and down about themselves. But for the most part, this is something that I think that's what separates you from a lot of the other awards shows, is that it's not about us. It's about the next generation. So that's really cool, man.
What we can do for others, yeah. It's all about helping. I mean, the TVMAs help.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't know if people really realize the insurmountable task that you face when putting this on, man. It's rough. It's you're not doing it for money. You're doing it, as you said, a passion, as a calling, if you will. So
yeah. So right now on Facebook Live, you can see the schedule of the Music Awards event tomorrow night backwards, but it's a long, long list of things that are going on tomorrow night at the Music Awards. So it is quite a mountain to climb. I don't do it myself, mostly myself, but I do have a few helpers, Lori Stace, and Lorena, Lucinda, Susan, a couple of these people that have, Mary, Deadline Media has come through, and also Robert and Mark at True Signs, who have rescued the program. Thank you guys. So there are some people out there that step up and help me out at the last minute, and but it is a big job.
Yeah, and it's commendable, man, and and along with that, you have a family and you have your own career that you're building, and like I said, it's just a lot of appreciation for you, brother. So
thank you.
What are some of the highlights? I mean, I've been off and on the interview. Did we touch on any of the highlights that might surprise people without giving away any spoiler alerts? But what are some of the things that people can expect for the show tomorrow?
Well, the show tomorrow is going to be off the charts. Like I've had a couple interviews with newspapers and local radio, and the thing that is really going to set this apart from a lot of award shows that you might have been through is the different genres of music that you're going to be able to get exposed to. Not only are you going to find out who wins, but Jason Malletman Taylor, who's played with a lot of people, is going to be there with Vibes and do a little set with Vibes. Maddie Lee's going to play some country. We got We Belong is going to do Pat Benatar tribute tunes. Will Chapman, great singer-songwriter. His dad in Chicago, right? Bill Chapman.
Yeah.
He was also on The Voice and all that kind of stuff. He's amazing. Christine Turner's going to MC. And Jarvis Brown, we've got some past winners. They're going to rock and roll. Larry Mitchell, like I said. Tracy Chapman, guitar player. I mean, amazing artist. Anthony Collins, who won Best Youth. Great guitar player. He's going to do some stuff with Larry as well.
Fallbrook Kid, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and closing the show is Elvis Monroe. Now, I'm not going to capitalize on anything that has happened, and we all really mourn for what has gone on in this country in general and in Vegas.
Yeah.
And these guys live in Vegas, and they were at Ground Zero, and they helped immensely. You've probably seen Brian on CNN and everything else. I'm opening for them tonight up in Upland in a small house concert show with Larry joining me.
Beautiful.
And they're going to come out and close the show tomorrow. And it's going to be amazing. So you guys got to make sure and come out. There's so much more. There's, like I said, it's a long list. We're going to have a great, great night. So
let me jump in here real quick. By the way, Florentino, I neglected to tell you this. I got a text last night from Rich Redmond. Rich is the drummer for Jason Aldean, and he's a friend of ours. He's actually a new host that's going to be coming on the network. And so Florentino told me to tell you that they're good. They did cancel the show here in San Diego, and the next show they're going to start up with is next week in Tulsa. Mm-hmm. So for those out there itself, there's a reason why Jason Aldean canceled his show in San Diego. They're just not ready to go on.
Yeah,
so,
that was supposed to be going on for tomorrow too. Yeah.
Yeah. So just so you know, Tino, he's good. The band is good. They're shucking up, and so they're going to take off some time. So, with that said, I'm going to jump back on here itself because I want to pay some homage to Tim, and if I can just stay on with me though. But I do want to give a shout out again to the listeners out there. Please join us and celebrate Tim Moyer. You can do that at www.timmoyer.com. Again, www.tvmawards.org. You guys put your best foot forward, man. And again, I implore you, if you got a couple extra ducats to spend, put the music in for the kids, even if you're not parents. If you want to keep the kids off the streets and keep them in the schools and keep music there itself, Tino will tell you the reason why he gave me the show is to keep me off the streets, and it's not working, Tino. So, but I want that. I want everybody to continue to support local music because it's so important. Music in general is so important. People like my guest today, Tim Moyer, is very important to me itself. I want you guys to do a thing called Standing Room Only tomorrow at Belvino Winery. You guys do it. I mean, this is once a year. Kind of give a handshake and a hats off to Tim for everything he's done. Timmy, I implore you to let's get some help for you at NAMM. I want to be able to sit down and at least have a drink with you, and
that would be fun
instead of chasing after you on my scooter. So. With that said, we got so much. And again, please consider the fact of October the 14th. Florentino can handle that for you regarding the Feast Infusion in Newport Beach, since you're so familiar with that area. So with that said, guys, do me a favor. Go on and patronize Mr. Tim Moyer. Thank him personally from Facebook to all the social media for everything he's done for the kids and everything he will do and everything that Intertalk Radio and Jackie's Groove to sit there to do the greater good for the industry out there. We not only support the A-list players, but we support the young ones coming up. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for your support on jackiesgroove.com, intertalkradio.com. My name is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio, into all things music. And Mr. Tim Moyer. Tim, I love you, brother. Finally, after all the time we've had a chance to talk, man. I love you. Give Susan a kiss and give Joe and the babies a kiss, too. And hopefully we'll see each other tomorrow. If not, we'll see you definitely on the 14th of October. Thank you, everybody. I finished with everything. I always say, peace through music, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al DiMeola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be the music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on? Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on InterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.